Hey guys, my name is Shai, and I'll ask you just to bear with me here because I am very sleepy. I was trying to take a nap, but the universe was like, get off your butt, come do this video right now. And so here I am. I'm going to start by trying to relay the message that I was receiving just now while laying on my couch that has prompted me to get up and do this. So, this entire video is transmitting an update to your indigo energy. I actually began tuning into this by it was the violet flame, the violet energy coming through, but it like pulled down into the indigo. Because if you think violet, indigo, blue, right? If you want to think in terms of crown, third eye, throat chakra, or just in terms of violet ray, indigo ray, and blue ray, and how those blend into each other, all relevant here. So what did I just say? That this video is this is literally an energy transmission to update your indigo energy. So if you do not wish to update your indigo energy, you can click off this video. If you would like to update your indigo energy, your indigo ray, I'm seeing it actually more like a sphere. Like the violet flame I see as a violet flame. The blue ray I see as a blue ray. And right now I'm seeing the indigo as a sphere, almost like an eyeball, but an eyeball that looks in all directions. And it looks, I wish I could show you what I'm seeing because it looks, it's like literally a ball, like imagine like a crystal ball that's kind of indigo colored inside, but with flecks of blue and violet and deeper purples. And it's like there's a whole universe of stars all swirling around, and there's these deep, mysterious depths. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. This is also connected to your pineal and pituitary glands, all connected into your third eye. So yes, this is updating your indigo energy. And so a few things I need to say along with this is that first, this is just going to be like a tarot reading. I'm not going to be doing any like guided meditation or any specific types of energy work like that. But nonetheless, this is transmitting an update to your indigo energy, if I to keep repeating myself. So along with that comes this like goes hand in hand. This type of understanding is the type of thing that is being updated. So I'll just state it here. I'll just say it. Energy work doesn't have to be so obvious or even so deliberate, right? Energy work doesn't have to be going into a shamanic trance or going on a shamanic journey. It doesn't have to be going deep into trance states of meditation. It doesn't have to be you don't have to be meditating. You don't need to be on a guided meditation. You don't have to be working with a healer or any other type of energy worker. You don't have to be going through any type of specific process. None of that needs to be the case. Of course, all of those things that I just pointed to are all amazing and beautiful and useful and wonderful and awesome and relevant in their own way. The point here is to just open up and understand or notice. Maybe you already know this, right? A lot of you already know this, but it's to like notice and like really notice. So really, really noticing moving forward how much energy work is happening constantly all the time in ways that you never would really think. Like, for example, I've received some of my most profound moments of activation, of initiation, and of healing, of shadow work, like all of the different words you can think of, right, to discuss these things from some of the most unexpected places, like a Star Wars movie or really old, low-budget, campy, cheesy TV shows, or a random headline on a billboard, or like, it's just all over the place. Something somebody randomly says, and even things that you think might be low brow or low vibe or just useless or silly or whatever, things that you might have judged negatively in the past. Moving forward, you're going to start to see how all of it is contributing to your evolution and of your consciousness. Literally everything that you perceive in your reality is influencing the evolution of your consciousness in some way, shape, or form. And so with that comes, first of all, just this kind of constant state of evolution and activation and initiation and healing and growth, whatever you whatever words you like, right? A kind of constant state of that because it's coming at you like all of the time. And this has always been the case, but since you're noticing it more, and since you are actually going to be like after you integrate the energy from this video, and it's not exactly that this video is causing this to happen for you, it's that this is already happening for you or within you. This is already happening within you in perfect timing, and this video is just a way of the universe verbalizing this to you. So I'm just showing up, and you brought this video into your reality today to just have somebody reflect this information to you in a verbal way. And I just really got startled because something fell over in my bathroom, but there's no animals in there, so I don't know what just happened. That like creeped me out. Not in a bad way, just I'm like startled, so I lost my train of thought. What was I trying to say? Yeah, so and along with this comes, I will use the word accountability here, but I don't mean accountability in like too serious of a way. I'm just using the word accountability because I can't think of a better word, but I mean like lighthearted accountability, if I can say that, lighthearted accountability to just, since you're going to be noticing how everything is influencing the evolution of your consciousness and how literally everything is activating you and healing you and growing you, and doing energy work, behind the scenes energy work for you at all times, there's like this, you're going to be feeling like taking further accountability in a lighthearted way. I would invite you to at least to do this in a lighthearted way. You could be serious face about it if you want, but I don't typically go for serious face at this phase in my life. I like to keep everything, you know, I don't like to take things too seriously, including my spirituality. Even though I take my spirituality like super seriously, I don't like to take it too seriously, if you kind of know what I mean. So this might include for you a deeper experience of like curating the things you allow to come into your reality, saying no to more things while also deliberately inviting in more things that maybe you don't particularly. It's like inviting in things that maybe you're not too excited about, but allowing yourself to do them anyway. It's kind of like eating a really healthy salad when you might want to eat the pizza, but you know that no, my body really wants the salad. I'm gonna eat the salad, even though I'm not that excited about the salad. I'm gonna do the salad anyway. That type of thing, including that with like everything that you do in your life, right? So just kind of jiggering that around a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I'm lost my train of thought again because I'm still very sleepy, so I'm gonna keep just moving ahead on this one. And this Five of Wands just fell out the bottom of the deck. This card to me is operating. This is like a foundational energy. Okay, this is a foundational energy for the rest of this reading. You operating from a place of equanimity, I think is a good word. Operating from a place of equanimity. A new experience of centeredness, a new experience of calmness, a new experience of, even if everything is kind of crazy right now, or I see crazy things around me, or I see a chaos around me, I'm still just kind of going to be okay in my own inner bubble, right? In my own inner experience. This is like a deeper experience of knowing that no matter what's happening in the external reality, it cannot truly touch your inner reality, right? Your external reality in all situations, even the most extreme situations, is only something that you are observing, right? You are just a bubble of awareness in the multiverse, and all of the stuff happening around you can never truly get to your inner core. It can never truly affect your awareness because you're simply observing it, right? This is dropping into the observer state, being the eye of the storm in an entirely new level. And this is going to be allowing you to become much less reactive. Much less reactive. And that actually gets to the heart of this entire thing, right? I'm talking about upgrading your indigo energy. And so just to take a pause and talk about what do I mean by indigo energy besides talking about, you know, third eye type of stuff. So some of you watching this might really resonate as an indigo child or an indigo soul, that type of thing. But some of you might not, and it doesn't really matter how this is like fitting for you, how this resonates for you, because every single being has indigo frequencies within them, right? And so if you do resonate as an indigo child, this is absolutely for you, and this might hit you really hard. If you're kind of like me and you've never really gotten into the whole indigo soul thing, it's just, honestly for me, it just never really comes up. It just doesn't really come up, so I've never really gotten too into that. so it doesn't too much matter about that, but just to take a minute and think about some of the types of things that are often talked about in some spiritual circles that I've found on the internet. When they're talking about indigo energy, they often talk about things like, breaking through the matrix, being like a warrior of the light, and really being here to break the system and to stand up and make a stand, and to stand up and make a change, right? Those are some of that's of course only like a small piece of what indigo energy is, right? But what things that I just described, it feels like there has been a huge focus on those aspects of indigo energy, and they were important, they were useful, they were divinely guided, they were maybe part of your mission. If you really resonate as an indigo soul, that might have been like a huge part of your experience for a long time. Like, fight the system. I'm here to make a change. I'm here to like out with the old and in with the new, all of that type of energy, all that type of vibe. If you're synchronizing with this video and it is resonating with you, then this is a moment in your journey where those types of vibes start to simmer down, start to go on the back burner. Still part of you, still beautiful, still relevant, but it's like you're moving into a new zone, a new phase, and actually a deeper understanding of the deeper frequencies of indigo energy, or the higher frequencies of indigo energy, depending on just how you want to look at that, right? It's like there's more to be discovered within the indigo vortex. There's more to be discovered here. And it's also this is like almost like a rite of passage, almost like a graduation day of your indigo energy, and also like a maturation, right? A maturation, because those types of indigo energy that I just described kind of feel more like a college student going to a protest, right? Or like that type of vibe. There is since this energy is naturally maturing, there is more mature experiences of your indigo energy that you're going to be moving into now. So I hope that's making sense. I am so tired. I'm so tired. I don't know what's happening. So let me just get some cards. Check this out. The universe. Okay, I don't know why this card is bringing this message through, but for some of you, you have been in the phase of your spiritual journey where maybe you have often looked to tarot readers, right? Like maybe even like me, or people like me, anybody who puts content on the internet. You've been looking to the spiritual content creators, to the influencers. Maybe you have a guru that you follow. Maybe you have a mentor. Maybe you have various spiritual role models. Maybe you have, maybe for some of you, maybe you have followed a specific religion or a specific faith, or just gotten very into a specific type of spirituality. And maybe for some of you, this has been like gathered from others, right? It's been gathered from others, and that is, again, beautiful and perfect, and an important part of the path. Just like when you are a student, you spend most of your time as a student, like in school, right, receiving information from textbooks and from teachers, and then eventually you graduate and you come into this place of, oh, now I have graduated, right? Now I'm no longer a student. Now I'm an adult. Now I'm in the workforce. Now I am the one moving forward, and then maybe even becoming a teacher yourself. So this is the same type of thing happening, where a lot of you are like, I could easily see you unsubscribing from a lot of different like spiritual influencers or content creators. I don't really know what the best catch-all word is for people who post spiritual content, right? Or even if it's not even spiritual, maybe it's like a travel vlogger that you watch and you've always just found their videos really inspirational. Various types of different content you've been learning from, right? You might find that it might be even like overnight, where you wake up and suddenly like all of this stuff doesn't really resonate anymore, or maybe it just feels like it doesn't have anything more to offer you, because you've literally gotten you've received all of the energy that person had to offer, right? You've kind of caught up to them and you're surpassing them, or maybe now your paths are walking on together and now they're diverging, right? I mean, you could even be unsubscribing from my channel because you have nothing more to learn from me. And if that's the case, you know, I will let you go out into the beyond with so much love, because there's this understanding here of how we walk with people for a certain amount of time, and we walk with energies, right? We walk with energies. This could also be like certain thought systems that you have inside of yourself, certain habits, right? This could be internal or external, whatever, walking together and then separating, right? So this is just kind of allow yourself to really drop out of all kinds of things, and know that if you find yourself growing away from some energy, it's really just a signal of your own evolution and your own growth, because you are the universe. You are the universe. Now you know that everything is inside of you, like literally everything. You don't ever need to receive anything from anyone, and because it's all within, right? This is a deeper understanding of how it is all within. It is all within you. So again, coming up with this theme of maturation, right? No longer the student, now you are the master. Now you are the master. So for some of you, this is going to equate to you really stepping up into some kind of leadership role, stepping up in some way in the physical world, right? Starting a spiritual business, getting a promotion at work, entering a new relationship, leaving an old relationship, becoming a parent, finding that you have to step up some way in your life, right? Just different ways. It's like, but you're ready for this. You're ready for this because there is a phase of learning that has been completed, and now there's this phase of stepping up, and taking greater responsibility. But it's like, there's an interesting thing here, because the responsibility no longer feels so scary, and it no longer feels like a burden, because you're ready for it. You're like naturally ready for this. You're moving like so smoothly into this higher plane of your own existence, and you're so ready to flow into this because you're so ready. You're so ready for this maturation process. And it's gonna feel like a lot of things. Page of Cups, this is exactly, it's gonna feel like a lot of things that used to seem like a really big deal. It's just not going to seem like that big of a deal anymore. Right? Like you could easily be going like, wow, this used to really stress me out, or wow, I used to really lose a lot of sleep on that, or wow, I used to get really triggered when this happened. But now you're just like, yeah, you know, it's like that still kind of bothers me in the back of my mind. It's still kind of uncomfortable, maybe, whatever. But it's like you have this completely new experience of emotional maturity, and you can just handle it. And this really includes like, this isn't for all of you. This is for some of you where this resonates. Is in the past you've been a people pleaser, right? A people pleaser. Now you're going to be, if that's you, right? If you've struggled with being a people pleaser and you found that being a people pleaser has negatively impacted your life, you're going to find that it's going to be suddenly so much easier just to tell people, no, I can't, or I disagree. And it's going to become simple, right? Where before, maybe if someone said something to you and you really disagreed with them, you would either maybe play along, just to keep the peace, right? Or maybe you'd get really triggered and you'd fight with them because like you felt threatened by it, and now but you were like, I need to speak my mind. I need to make sure this person understands my perspective. But you would kind of do it in this explosive, emotional way, right? Which is perfectly fine, right? That is exactly part of the growth process. That's just part of the experience. But now you're going to be able to do this in just like a much more like, oh yeah, I just respectfully disagree, right? And that, since this is really short-circuiting and stopping the reactivity process, right? Because you're just going to go, instead of having this big emotional reaction to something, you're just going to go, maybe you'll have a little emotional reaction, and then you go, okay, I'm going to set that reaction aside, and then I'm just going to say my thing. And since you're keeping your cool, the other person's going to keep their cool. Maybe sometimes they won't. Maybe sometimes maybe sometimes they're still in a place where they will be very emotionally reactive, but you're not going to react to them. It's like it's just, you're going to be feeling like everything is just fine the way it is, right? Everything is fine the way it is. And part of this understanding is coming from the fact that now you understand that everything is just part of the process. Like you really understand the journey, you really understand the growth process, right? So, because you're so much more mature. It's exactly like, I mean, depending on what age your human body is, you'll have a deeper understanding of this. Like if you're in your 40s, you'll have a better understanding of this of someone who is 18, right? Or if you're in your 80s, you have an even better understanding of this. That as we go through different types of journeys and learning experiences and growth processes in our lives, we just naturally go through these phases that are more tumultuous, where we are more emotionally reactive and where we are more easily triggered by things. It's because we're trying to figure stuff out, and it's hard sometimes. But then we also now you know that you get through it, and then you come into this place of deeper stability, and you know that there's going to be another process where maybe now you have deeper challenges. Right? You still have challenges, life is still happening, but now you're like, okay, now I know the pattern. Now I understand my own pattern. I understand my own growth process. And so now when you're looking at your higher level challenges, you can tackle them with much more equanimity because now you understand the process, right? Just like, when you're 18 and you're going out into the world and everything is kind of, you're figuring everything out for the first time, right? It's like that's, in terms of your spiritual journey, you're kind of done with that phase, right? You've reached this deeper level of maturity. And this is really like and in doing so, you're becoming this role model for others, the role model that maybe you always wanted to be. And you were an important role model for others earlier in your journey, because that's the thing, you always synchronize with people who, like, wherever you're at, it's always perfect, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Wherever you're at, it's always perfect. And so that allows you to be less emotionally reactive and less triggered by others, because you understand that, oh yeah, I used to be in that place. Therefore, I understand where they're at. Therefore, I understand that no matter how they're reacting, it's fine, because that's just where they're at. And I was there at one point, and maybe I'll be in a similar place again one day, but I'm not there right now. And we're all just growing and learning and growing and learning. And so from that perspective of understanding the growth process, the previous paradigm of fight the system or like be triggered by everything or feeling like things need to be dismantled, I'm in focusing on critically analyzing, even for some of you who are very like analytical, right? If you really are in your mental body a lot, this could be moving out of a phase of being overly analytical, right? Being overly analytical and like being overly critical. And I even mean like, so overly critical in terms of like, the popular usage of the word, but even being overly critical in the academic source of the word, right? Maybe before you used to really like, like doing critiques of things, like academically criticizing different things, even like doing movie reviews or song reviews and stuff like that, right? Criticizing things from the academic perspective. And now that's suddenly going to seem like, why? Right? Even though that now comes so naturally to you, you can look at something and completely assess it with like, you can assess it really accurately with your analytical mind, but you're going to be like less interested in that than you used to be, right? Because it used to be that you were learning to be critical, you were learning to be analytical, right? And now you've mastered the analytical mind, and now suddenly that is less interesting to you, and it's going to become a background process. So like it's all of these things. This is now I'm starting to really understand this. A lot of the things that used to be at the forefront of your indigo energy, right? And the indigo, if we can associate that with the third eye, and the third eye is associated with the mind and perception and analysis, right? And seeing. So all of these things that used to be in the forefront of your indigo energy, people pleasing, and it's interesting. I never really associated that with the third eye or with indigo energy before. So I'm not entirely sure why that's coming up here, but it is. So I'm just going to roll with it, and you can take it as it resonates. So people pleasing, being judgmental of others, being critical in all aspects of the word, being analytical, and being concerned. I don't know, how do I describe this? Being concerned about the system, right? Because so often, like, indigo energy is about like breaking down the system and busting through the matrix, and that has been very important. But suddenly, that's going to seem like You don't need to focus on that so much, because all of these things that I just described, they used to be at the forefront of your indigo energy, and they were at the forefront of it because you were practicing them, because you were learning about them, and because you had to learn about them, and it was because important for you to go through those energies, and it was important you did really important work from those spaces and those places, right? So really take a minute to appreciate how important all of this has been for you. But now it's like being integrated. It's like sucking back into you, and these processes are going to become background processes, right? So you're going to be able to look out at the world and go, okay, that social system, I can look at that. I can know all of the things that I don't like about it. I can see what's good and bad about it. I can see all the problems associated with it. But you're going to be able to do that like instantly, and it's going to be like a natural thing, and you're going to be doing it in a really non-attached way, where suddenly it's like, yeah, I have complete clarity on the problems, the pros and cons of that social system, but you're not really going to have an emotional attachment to it. It's just going to be like this natural thing that happens in the background of your awareness, and it's going to be, okay, I'm going to file that information away, and if I truly feel guided to interact with that system in some fashion, then I will. But unless my guidance system takes me in that direction, I'm not really going to worry about it. It's just something I'm aware of in the back of my mind. Same thing if this plays out for you mostly in terms of other people, where you find that you're often getting into like emotional triggering situations with other people. Suddenly you're going to be like, yeah, that person said something to me, and that's something that used to trigger me, or maybe this person used to really trigger me. But suddenly you're going to be like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. What that person said wasn't fair, wasn't right, wasn't good, whatever, but it's like it's no longer going to bother you, right? Because this whole emotional reactivity thing is also going to the back. It's being integrated. It's going deep inside of you, and so it's actually like leveling up, right? All of these things that we used to do with our indigo energy that used to be very like hands-on and out there in the world, now they're internal. Now they're deeply integrated. So they're just these background automatic processes now. They're fully integrated. It's so interesting. I never really thought about it this way before. Yeah, so all of the things to do with your indigo energy that you have been practicing for all of these years are now automatic processes inside of you, and they're going to continue to operate, and sometimes you will still use them, and sometimes they will come to the surface when they are relevant, but they're no longer going to be like running the show. And this is going to free up space for like the upgrade to come through, right? The upgrade. Now you have all of this indigo space that is freed up. You've literally been freeing up space. So if you've been through a big purge lately, man, I know for myself, the purge has been happening like very literally. I've been like freeing up space on my computer, like 100 gigs. I freed up 100 gigs of old data, like I got rid of off of my computer. I've been getting rid of stuff in my house. Has been this big purge. And of course, that's a reflection of my inner experience, where I've been purging things like energy internally and memories and just crap I don't need anymore, and old baggage, right? All getting purged. Another round. We're constantly it's like every couple of months, there's this huge round of purging, right? So there's been another round of purging, but also another round of like optimization. That's the word, right? I've been feeling like I've been optimizing. I am recording this like the day after the Libra equinox of 2022, which was a massive, huge moment of integrating everything. Like I know that the Libra equinox is always significant in terms of coming into balance, but this was like one of the I don't know, there was something special. Maybe it's because it's the year 222, right? Something very special about coming into massive levels of balance. And like this is happening internally, interpersonally, and on a cosmic level, massive balance, and everything being optimized in terms of this new balance, right? And everything is so much more optimized. So you are also so much more optimized. Now there is all this new space for you to have new experiences of your indigo energy. And so these are going to be unfolding, honestly, over like the next couple of years. You might start to see, maybe you've already started to see things, right? Maybe you've started to see new thoughts coming up of how you can operate differently. Or maybe just you have this feeling of my life is like about to change. It's like I'm cresting the wave, right? Things suddenly feeling different in a way that is of right now might not be very clear to you, but there's this feeling of it's going to be different now. It's going to be different now. It's going to be different now because you're different now. And all of this space is coming through, and these indigo activations are going to be kind of like coming online for you. So as I've been talking, you've essentially been getting beamed with this Indigo upgrade, right? Getting beamed with this Indigo upgrade. And of course, you didn't need to have watched this video to receive the Indigo upgrade. It would have come through for you anyway. But, you know, something I said, somebody left me a comment yesterday, and in my reply, I was describing how I truly feel that every single one of my videos is co-created with every single person who sees it. And I would say that about literally any type of content, anything you see in your reality. To observe something is to participate in it. To observe something is to participate in it. So if you're observing something, you are participating in its creation. Even if you're watching this video 10 years after I post it, your energy is still here in the vortex as an observer of the video, and therefore your energy is here. Your energy is contributing to this, right? You helped create this with your energy, and that is why it came into your reality, because you got to drop out of the cause effect thing, right? If you're trying to think chicken or the egg, not like that's human linear thinking, right? This is not a chicken or the egg. This is not a cause and effect. This is not a what came first. This is everything is happening simultaneously. Everything is happening simultaneously. Everything is happening simultaneously, right? The superposition, quantum states, however you want to roll with that, right? But if you don't want to go down that rabbit hole right this second, just know that every single thing is happening simultaneously. It doesn't matter how much space or how much time appears to your human mind to be separating them. Everything is happening simultaneously. Everything is happening simultaneously. Everything is happening simultaneously. So when you're observing something, even if it was created millions of years ago, if you are observing it, you are participating in its creation. So yeah, I can't remember why I got onto that tangent. Oh, something about how, you know, you didn't need to receive this video to receive the activation, but since you are observing this video and therefore creating the video, this video is like one of the things that my energetic function does is to distill, concentrate, and focus energy and then beam it at you in a more focused way. So basically for something like this, you know, maybe you might have spent, it would be different for everybody, right? Maybe for some people it would have been one day. Maybe for some people it would have been 1 year, kind of absorbing and integrating this energy because it would be coming at you more ambiently. But if you watch the video, you know, now it's coming through in one singular beam. It's like focused on you. It's just focusing the energy at you so that you can receive it. And my energetic system also filters and organizes it so that when it comes at you, it's easier for you to integrate it, right? That's why that's why we work in teams, right? That's why we exist as soul tribes, as soul groups, because one person, and we all take turns doing this, like we're all doing this. It's not like one person is the central pillar. It's like, no, we are all pillars, right? One person will channel something down, and then it goes out to the people most closely connected to them. And every single time one person channels the data and then they integrate it, then when they send it out to the people that they're connected to the soul family that they're connected to, they have already like integrated it once and it's been like processed. A really funny example, forgive the example, but this might make it like crystal clear, right? You know how cows have multiple stomachs and they have to keep regurgitating their food to chew their cud, so that then they can keep digesting it? It's basically like that, right? So when one person downloads something, they literally digest the energy, and then the energy is kind of getting regurgitated to their next soul family member, right? And that next person goes, hey, you've already like half digested this, so it's going to be even easier for me to digest it. And then they send it off to more people, and then it's even easier for them to digest it, and that keeps going around until, in that fashion, that's how the energy gets out to people who are even like, you know, completely not interested in anything spiritual whatsoever. It gets to everybody that way, and it trickles through in terms of like seeing a comic strip in a newspaper, right? That the energy that finally manifested as a comic strip in a newspaper was at some point originally channeled by somebody like you who is really consciously connected to source and is consciously downloading things all of the time. And it's just, that's how it gets passed around. So yeah. Let's find out this card. And this whole time, what was sitting here is the Lovers. The Lovers. This whole time I've been talking about, you know, balance, integration, harmony. Up here on this card is the Flower of Life, and it might be impossible to see on the camera, but there's a very faint art of the Flower of Life here. That's the network, right? That's the network. And the network begins by you connecting to one other, right? As soon as you have two people, that's the beginning of the network. That is the link. That is the link established, right? That is the link established. So now that actually tells me perfectly the theme that is going to be dominating your upcoming Indigo experiences, right? Now, it's more about connection, connecting, building bridges, forging links with others. Potentially with the lovers, this is often on a one-on-one basis, right? But I mean, that could be friendships, right? You connecting with 100 different acquaintances that you meet. This could be between you and your partners, like business partners, romantic partners, whatever, family, you and your higher self, of course, always with the lovers, you and source, you and the universe itself, you and whatever divine energy you resonate with, right? Connecting one-on-one, 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 these one-on-one connections. And instead of being in this, the spaces, I'm not gonna list what they were before, right? But when I talked about the previous paradigm of Indigo energies, right, that maybe they were relevant for you for a long time. They were more like, whatever. I can't come up with the word because maybe I don't need to pull that energy back into the vortex right now. We're just, because we're kind of letting that go to the background. We're letting that be fully integrated, right? So now the new experience of Indigo energy that is available to you is one of linking up, one of interconnection on a one-on-one level, one on forging deep bridges, one of forging deep bonds, and transmitting the beneficial, benevolent, productive, creative energy, right? Now there's this focus on building. Now there's this focus on creating. Now there's this focus on knowing that you just exist in the energy that is you. You just exist as your own self, and you just radiate that out into the world, and you share it with others, often on this one-on-one basis, and it just flows out through the grid that way. It flows out through the network that way, like literally pinging out, right? It pings out through the entire network, through the entire web that way. So it's this big shift, because now it's like indigo creation, like creating from the indigo space. Seeing something and linking it down into the physical world. Seeing something and linking down into the physical world. This could very easily come with suddenly it's easier for you to materialize. Suddenly it's easier for you to manifest, because now you're in a more harmonious relationship with the earth. Now you are in a more harmonious relationship with the human collective. Now you are in a more harmonious relationship with one specific other person. If you've got a person on your mind, now you can be in a more harmonious relationship with them. And that's going to allow, like, now so much of the friction is gone, right? Now so much of the friction is gone, so much of the old antagonism is gone. Now we're just going to focus on what's good. I'm going to focus on what's useful, right? I'm going to focus on what you want to create. So it's this massive, massive energy of moving forward. It is this massive, massive energy focusing on what you want to create, and focusing on even just creating beauty, creating peace, creating harmony, creating wealth, creating relationships, building your future, right? This is like, also with the indigo energy, it can be a lot of just being a dreamer. That's something I don't think I really mentioned until now, right? Sometimes when you're in the indigo energy, because it's third eye, you're just perceiving. That can be a lot of like consumption, like consuming. Yeah, well, I did talk about that, right? Like drawing in energies of others, like being in the place of learning, being in the place of receiving wisdom and learning and information from others. So it's been this kind of passive, receptive type of mode. But now it's like your output has been restored. Your output has been restored. And you know what? It's like your output was blocked before. Not that it was completely blocked, but maybe some of your manifestations were blocked. Maybe some of your relationships were blocked. Maybe some of your life progress just in general in like nebulous ways was kind of blocked. Why was it blocked? You actually blocked yourself. Like on a higher level, you blocked yourself because on a higher level, you understood that there was still something in your vibration that was maybe too antagonistic, or maybe too insecure, maybe too passive, maybe too whatever, right? It was just you were actually being benevolently blocked. You were benevolently blocking yourself from progress because there was just, just the way your vibration was, the state that your consciousness was in, even the physical age that you were at, just the way things were, right? The way things were wasn't the best place to be creating from, because you weren't exactly in creation mode before. You were doing other things that were very important for you to be doing, right? It was very good that you did them. You had to do them, right? You were maybe in like, whatever. I don't want to keep like going into the past. So this is the fact that I keep kind of being like drawn into the way things were before, but then I go, like, I don't want to. I want to focus on the future. You might find yourself experiencing that, right? Yeah, I know my husband and I had a big argument the other day, and then once we made up, we learned our lesson, right? We established that everything was all good again. We were all good to go. And then we kept finding ourselves like slipping back, not into the fight, but we kept slipping back into being sorry. We kept like apologizing to each other all over again. Or it was like, are you okay? Are we sure we're good? And it was like, we got to knock this shit off, right? We just kept, it was like this temptation to backslide, not into the fight, not into the bad, but it was like this temptation to backslide into the being sorry, right? Into the sorriness of it. And we were like, we got to knock that shit off. So we actually just like parted ways for a couple hours. I went outside, walked the dog, and then I came back and it's like, okay, now it feels fresh, right? So if you find yourself in this place of like feeling like you're feeling this temptation to backslide, give yourself some space from whatever it is. Even give yourself some space from yourself, like check out, right? Veg out, go outside, like just do something different, do something to break the cycle, right? Break the cycle, just do something different, change your energy, change your vibe, change your clothes, change your hair color, take a nap, do just whatever, anything that'll feel like it'll shift your attention, because this is actually like a dopamine thing, right? Your dopamine receptors are kind of geared to focus on what they know will get dopamine, right? Literally in your brain, your brain just wants more dopamine. And if it knows it can get dopamine from those things in the past, it's just going to want to keep dragging you back. It's like an addiction, right? Your brain can get like addicted to its own dopamine. So it's like you got to shift your attention to the future, right? Shift your attention to the future. Shift your attention to what you want to create. Shift your attention to what you want to create. Shift your attention to what you want to create, and shift your attention about building bridges, about like grounding positivity, right? And about grounding manifestations, all of that. You want to be shifting into that direction, shifting into that direction, shifting into that direction. And, it's just like practicing meditation. So some of you actually, maybe you used to meditate and now you find yourself almost never meditating. That's actually where I'm at. I meditated every day for like almost an hour every day for like a couple of years. And it was so important, so absolutely important to my spiritual like awakening that like I would not be where I was if I had never had a meditation practice. Now I find myself almost never meditating. Every once in a while I do, because I feel the call. But honestly, I feel like I'm in not all the time, but for many hours most days. So we'll say for many, many, many hours every week, I feel like I'm in a kind of walking meditation where I feel like I'm in that meditative state of just like, no thoughts, right? Clear mind, just being aware of my environment, being in the place of observation, right? I am like that when I'm just moving around, having my day, right? And I can be in that place while I'm living my life. And so I don't actually need to like carve out this separate space, this separate time to meditate. So some of you might be in that place as well. And so very specifically for those of you who feel kind of guilty about like not meditating like you used to, or maybe you've never meditated and you just feel like you don't need to, that's fine. Like you don't, like meditation itself is part of the journey, right? The practice of meditation, like the very physical practice of sitting down to meditate on a schedule, that's part of being a student, right? That's part of being a student. Once you're in this place of mastery, maybe you don't need to do that all the time. Maybe in the future, you'll find that you will find it beneficial. You'll spiral back around and you'll reestablish a meditation practice for a while. But again, it's just all phases. It's just all zones. It's just all parts of the journey. And so it's totally okay to be in a place on your journey where you don't meditate that much. Or, this might apply to something else in your life. And if it does, perfect, right? So yeah, focusing on forward, focus on creation, and interconnection, right? Focus on creation and interconnection. And that is the end of your Indigo update. It has been installed and you will unfold it and integrate it in your own perfect divine timing. So good luck, guys. Sending you so much love and light. Bye.